diabetes.org.
We come out here each and every play and dominate.
The preseason is in full swing.
Come here to look good and play good. Let's go.
Week 2, and NFL Network has 6 live games.
Holy cow.
Playmakers all over the field.
Oh, he's got it now.
And the next generation ready to take over.
To the end zone. Touchdown.
Be one of them games, okay.
Hey, let's count this out.
Week 2 of the NFL preseason, live on NFL Network.
Welcome to Good Morning Football, presented by Harbor Freight. We are live here in Los Angeles, we being Akbar Bajbiamila and myself. I'm Jamie Erdahl. There's Peter Schrager. There's Kyle Brandt. Kyle, I have a question for you. Those guys are in New York. Did you have that shirt made yourself? Because there are people in this studio here in L.A. who covet it.
Yeah.
Where did you get it from?
Yeah, it's custom. It's custom. Our old friend online who goes by Vanilla Gorilla made me the GMFB NYC to LA t-shirt. I wear it all the time. I have like 15 of them. I'm more than happy to hand them out to the crew. A lot of things going on here in New York. I have a blind item that I want to share that I'll pay off later in the show. What former NFL MVP did I play beer pong with just yesterday in New York City? I'm not going to answer the question now, but that did happen. I'm not making it up. You can guess. Go ahead, tweet us, guess anything. But I did, and I'll share the story.
I can't believe you and Brian Sipe played beer.
We did. Sipe's good, too.
You and Brian Sipe.
Sipe's incredible.
Unbelievable.
I know. It's really, really good.
It's incredible.
Peter nailed it. He ruined the game. But if you have other guesses,
it's
go
a
ahead.
blind item, Peter. There is a lot going on. Kyle looks like he's landing airplanes with the way his earpieces come out of his neck. Kyle, clean it up. We're on TV here on GMFB. Let's go.
Thank you.
Our lead block begins now, and we are returning to the Brandon Ayuk saga. Have we definitively called it a saga? Peter, real quick, judgment call. Is it a saga?
No,
it's, not yet. Okay.
What do they call it? Detente? What is it?
Oh,
That's it.
Oh,
like
good. Yes, I know.
An impasse.
Yes, nice. The impasse is coming to a possible resolution soon, allegedly. According to NFL media insider Ian Rappaport, the 49ers and Steelers have a potential trade in the works, but it is not finalized yet because the 49ers are probably optimistic or hoping to be optimistic. They're working to extend and keep Ayuk on retainer as wide receiver. But for what's best for Ayuk? Is it to go to Pittsburgh, Peter, or is it to stay with the 49ers?
Well, this is now something that is very emotional. And when you try to talk business but also have emotions involved, things can get different than what anyone objectively from the outside looking in could say. For the entire summer, it seems like the Niners have been telling Brandon Ayuk, you're not a number one wide receiver. You're not worthy of Justin Jefferson money. You're not worthy of Tyreek Hill money. And we don't see you in that light. However, here is a deal. Here is a structure where you know you're going to be on a good team. You know this offense inside and out. And you know the coach you're playing for because it's the only coach you've ever had. What do you want? Do you want to dive in and go to Pittsburgh where you don't know anything? You don't know if that team's good. You don't know how that offense is going to operate. And you don't know if you're going to get that much more money than you would do it if you signed an extension with the Niners? Or do you stay with the lovers that you've had forever who kind of told you, like, we like you. We don't love you as much as we love your other teammates that we're going to pay. Fascinating personal decision for Brandon Ayuk. But I would just say at this moment, as we start another August show with Brandon Ayuk, and I don't say that with any pith or any, look in my face where I'm like rolling my eyes. Like, this is a relevant story. This is a team that is a defending NFC champion, and this guy was their best offensive weapon outside of Christian McCaffrey last year. So I do think it's relevant to start the show every day with this. I do think it's relevant in the stature of the league, knowing all the different extensions that are going to be coming up at the wide receiver position, whether it be a Jamar Chase or whoever else is coming in the years after. But I will say this. The fact that he is still even engaging with the 49ers, the fact that they still are even talking at this point gives me hope that it will be the 49ers.
Buzzer beater?
I think it should be the 49ers. I don't think it should end like this. I don't think it should go and see Brandon Ayuk traded for 70 cents on the dollar to play a one-year deal with Pittsburgh or to sign some deal with Pittsburgh and then go with an unknown at quarterback and Russell and Fields. This team is so close, and I almost fear that if you ship off Ayuk, like, was this team at its best 2 years ago when there were no dramas and that's when Purdy got hurt in the NFC Championship game? Like, was that when the window was, and not 2 years later where we're going into the season and everyone just wants to get paid and has that disease of me type thing going on? But one last note, I've mentioned it before.
But it's like he's trying to run a one-man band out there behind his seat. And these comments this is a make-or-break season. He's got to make an impact. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the Brandon Mason Show. It's August 14th. Look, it's Wednesday. I'm excited about what's going on. Football is coming up, baby. I cannot wait. And I'll be honest, I'm looking at it going, it's preseason week 2. In my mind, I'm going, it's preseason week 2 because they had the Hall of Fame game. Then they had preseason 1 in my mind, and then this be 2. But if you look on the websites and everything, ESPN, everything, it says it's preseason week 3. So I'm like, whatever. Call it what you want. Preseason week 3 Hall of Fame game apparently took the whole freaking week 1 preseason. But now we're heading into it, and we got a lot going on. And Tyreek Hill calls out Patrick Mahomes. I'll explain to you why that's on their main topic today in the title. And also, he calls out Noah Lyles. And I'm sure that people have seen this on the internet or seen it wherever you're surfing, on YouTube, surfing all over Google, whatever you want to call it. We're going to dive into it right now. And I got my coffee lined up like I always do. And my mug says, Happy Life. My wife has the one that says Happy Wife. So I'm just saying, you know how that shit goes. We know that is damn near impossible because every man out there, not hating on women because we all know we love our beautiful women, but let me tell you something. Happy wife, happy life isn't as easy as the saying goes, right? Like shit takes hard work. But anyway, welcome back to the show. We're getting started today, and I can't wait to dive into the conversation. Tyreek Hill calls out Patrick Mahomes. So what's going on right now, and why is this happening? And I'll be honest, and I'll call it like it is. Is he butthurt? Does he have a grudge? After leaving Kansas City and they didn't sign him to a big deal, what's going on? And look, before I dive into it, let me just tell you something. I think Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, two of the best players ever, obviously. Tyreek Hill is phenomenal, right? Tyreek Hill is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm not even going on here throwing shade. I think Tyreek Hill, I said he was so great. I gave him so much praise last year that when we had a co-host on the show for a short period of time there, the co-host was like, oh, man, you got a man crush on Tyreek Hill. You always want to talk about Tyreek Hill. I'm like, because when you put the TV on and you see Tyreek Hill catching those little passes and turning 5-yard gains into 100-yard gains and screen passes in 80-yard gain, I'm like, that's why. That would be the reason why Tyreek Hill is blasted all over the media and all over the damn internet and why he's number 1 right now, right? Like he's listed on as number 1 NFL player on the list. So not for nothing, that would be a big reason why we're talking about that. But first things first, why does Tyreek Hill call out Patrick Mahomes? And what he said was pretty damn clear, loud and clear, was just like, look, I am number 1. I am better than Patrick Mahomes. And it was like, it wasn't like one of those things where you're like, yo, that's my buddy and I'm better, but he's my boy and I'm better. Like that's kind of how it started off when he first got to Miami and was all about his brother, the brotherly love out there. Like, hey, look, he's still a GOAT, whatever you want to call it. And now it's kind of like he was a little butthurt, right? Let's just call it like it is. The Kansas City Chiefs let go of Tyreek Hill, ends up in Miami, and people were like, okay, they're going to regret that. The cheetah, one of the best receivers in the National Football League, one of the best to ever play the game. We all thought that. I know a lot of people thought that when he left, they were going to be like, oh shit, we just lost our best receiver, one of the most talented players to ever touch a football. And in the chat right now, how do you guys feel of that? Is Tyreek Hill the best receiver in the NFL? He's listed as number 1 player in the NFL. Is he the number 1 receiver, yes or no, in the chat? If you're watching this live, and if you watch it later, you can comment on that too. Or is there another receiver that you would pick on your team? Drop that in the live stream because, yeah, apparently he's a little butthurt. We got to call it like it is. And if I got traded and I ended up obviously playing for the Dolphins, I'd be happy to be in Miami. I think Kansas City is a great place to play. Great fans. Would love to be there as well. They're winning Super Bowls. They got a great system out there. Andy Reid, great coach. We can go all the way down. Travis Kelce, Pacheco at the running back position. They got a great defense. They have a lot of great qualities. Kansas City is a phenomenal city for sports. Before anybody gets mad about that. But if I could live in Miami, I would pack my shit and move to Miami because it's just a fun atmosphere, especially as a football player making money and enjoying your life. Now, is it, does it come with distractions? Yes. Is it a problem for some people? Yes. So I'm not knocking that, and I'm not saying that it's for everybody. But what I'm saying is, if you can live in Miami and not out there in Kansas City, this might be a great opportunity. But nonetheless, Tyreek Hill shows up here, and then Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs win back-to-back Super Bowls, and now they're heading for another Super Bowl. So what is it really? What is the real question? Why is he calling out saying, I'm the best? And he'll say, I thought it was a little weird. Like, he had some messages, obviously, for Patrick Mahomes over the years. Like, he's been saying that. But move forward for a second. Before we go into what was said and not said, is Patrick Mahomes the best player in the NFL? And the reason why I'm asking this question right now is important, because I'm going to get to it in a second, because Lamar Jackson was the MVP. I'm going to get to this in a second. A lot of people, when you say football, when you say the NFL, a lot of people's minds, I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people think Patrick Mahomes. A lot of people do. And I'm not saying that some people don't. I'm just saying a lot of people do. In the live stream right now, who is the best player in the NFL? And why this is important, and good morning to everybody as you're coming in. I just dropped the flags in there. Always got to do that. Drop the American flags in the chat. We appreciate everybody that's coming into the building this morning. I'm going to make it now. I'm going to say everybody's name here in a second. That's in the live stream. Hit that like button. Let's run this shit up. Let's get people in here to hang out with us for our morning show. But at the end of the day, when I think football, and I'm going to tell you right now, when I think football in general, I think about Patrick Mahomes for a lot of reasons. And I'm not saying, ultimately he's the only player that I'm thinking about on the football field, that he's the only player that's great or only shows great qualities. But I think about Patrick Mahomes for a lot of reasons. A, they won a Super Bowl back-to-back, right? B, he's a phenomenal quarterback, and he's making tons of plays out there on the field day in and day out. See, he's actually winning Super Bowls without even having an ultimate talented receiver, and nothing against Rashee Rice. Nothing against what Rashee Rice brings to the table. I wasn't trying to say that at all. I'm not saying they don't have a receiver. I'm just saying an ultimate receiver. I'm talking about a receiver that people were like, yeah, that guy's game break. That guy's going to make, going to bring in all the action. Because out there, obviously in Kansas City, Arrowhead Stadium, all those fans out there rooting them on, they did not have that explosive talent that a lot of teams have in the National Football League. They really had Rashee Rice, and they didn't have much at all. So at the end of the day, is Patrick Mahomes the best player in the NFL? Well, he leads you to victories, and it's very hard to bet against him. That's how I'm going to put it right now. It's so hard to bet against him. But what happens is, and I put this up again, is Tyreek Hill was like, I'm the best player in the National Football League for sure. And they're like, well, you think you're better than Patrick Mahomes? Yeah, I'm better than Patrick Mahomes. And then you start looking at it and you say, okay, if Tyreek Hill is the best player in the NFL, and you look at Patrick Mahomes, like, well, Patrick Mahomes has to touch the ball on every play. Patrick Mahomes on offensive possessions has to touch the ball every single play. He's got to either throw it to you or he's got to hand it to you. So at the end of the day, I think a lot of quarterbacks get that nod for a lot of reasons. They're the sheriff, they come up, they're calling the plays in the huddle. They got to come up, they got to change the play call if something goes on at the line of scrimmage. The receivers are going to march to their tune, they're going to make it happen. And then as a weapon, like Tyreek Hill is one player on the field. And I'm just saying, I love what Tyreek Hill brings to the table, but Tyreek Hill was listed as the number one player. Why did he call him out? Why is there a grudge? And I want to explain that as to why he actually called out Patrick Mahomes. I said call out. He's just like, look, I'm better. And over the course of the years, he's thrown a couple little jabs in there. And one of them was just like, look, he hasn't even called him back. Apparently, and quote unquote, allegedly, apparently Patrick Mahomes was not returning Tyreek Hill's phone calls. So you're like, they were on the same team together out in Kansas City balling out, as Tyreek Hill was an explosive talent there. And again, Patrick Mahomes in the driver's seat again. But it was like he shows up in Miami, and apparently Patrick Mahomes was not even returning Tyreek Hill's phone calls ever since he arrived in Miami. So there's a little bit of hard feelings there. Like, why did they get rid of Tyreek Hill? They had some other complications apparently, because why would you get rid of this explosive receiver? You're winning games. They get rid of him. They win another Super Bowl, and now they're like, we're looking for another Super Bowl, and now they got Xavier Worthy. They got Rashee Rice. They got some players out there, And they got Travis Kelce. They got Louis Rees-Zammit, another guy brought in a rugby player. Andy Reid. They're building it up. And I think, I'll be honest with you, I think when I look at these two players, Tyreek Hill is just a little butthurt. And rightfully so. Right? Like, rightfully so. If I'm Tyreek Hill right now and I get traded, I'm quote-unquote one of the best receivers ever, and I show up in Miami, and then my teammate, Patrick Mahomes, who I think is phenomenal too, wins back-to-back Super Bowls without me, I'm like, well, they didn't need me, right? Like, apparently they didn't need me to win the damn game. They didn't need me to go out there and ball out. They didn't need me to get through the playoffs. They didn't need me to be 3rd and 5, catching screen passes and bubble routes and whatever and running for first downs and touchdowns. They didn't need me. So apparently, got a little butthurt, right? Let's call it like it is. I love Tyreek Hill, and I won't say too much because I want Tyreek Hill to come on the show and be like, oh, hey, I heard what you said about me on the live stream. No, that's not what I'm saying right now. I think that Tyreek Hill is one of the best players to ever touch a football, and not to mention, we're going to get to it in a second, his size and weight, he's micro size, right? Like for a NFL player, so we'll get to that in a second too. But hold on a second. I got a question for you guys as we move forward. Where does Lamar Jackson rank with MVP if, quote unquote, you're talking Patrick Mahomes, we're talking Tyreek Hill, but Lamar Jackson got the MVP. And people talk about him the whole time. Lamar Jackson, beast mode, making plays with his legs, out there getting it done. I like everybody's like, I like Patrick Mahomes, I like Tyreek Hill, but Lamar Jackson was the MVP. Why are people kind of skating past the conversation, right? Like, why are people skating past the conversation of Lamar Jackson being the guy? Because I got some pictures out here that shows a lot about Lamar Jackson doing the damn thing. People are like Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes, but this man is doing this kind of shit on the field, and he is the most valuable player to a football team. And I'm just saying, running around the field, jumping over people, breaking tackles, making people miss, throwing the ball. I'm not saying they won a Super Bowl, and I'm not saying, that Patrick Mahomes isn't up there heavy in conversation. I'm not saying Tyreek, I'm not saying Christian McCaffrey in conversation. But this man, look what this man is doing. Right? Like, this is your quarterback and then playing running back. And it's like, it leads you to believe, right? Tyreek Hill calls out Patrick Mahomes. I'm the best player to ever play, or I'm the best player, quote unquote, on the field right now, which is part of that conversation. But then Lamar Jackson sitting there going, yo, is anybody even talking about me? Like, I'm out there balling. I'm a super asset, got further than the Dolphins did last season. And a lot of people would say it's bullshit that they're not jumping on the Lamar Jackson bandwagon, even though he got the MVP. He got an accolade, should be sitting back going, I was the most valuable player in the NFL, apparently, at that point. So that's a question. But here we go for a second. When should they announce the MVP? Should they announce the MVP at the end of the season? Should they announce the MVP at the end of the full entire season, like end of the regular season? Or should you announce it in the postseason? Should you announce it after the Super Bowl? I think what they do is they wait for the end of the season to make an announcement, because not every team's going to get to the playoffs. Not every team's going to get to the Super Bowl. So the most valuable player to their team, and then the most valuable player to their offense, right? That obviously. And then it's like, okay, but to the NFL. That's the question. Who's the most valuable player in the NFL? And that's why a lot of people are going, well, Christian McCaffrey. He was in a Super Bowl. Then it was like, okay. People even talk about Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott and all that. But then it comes to Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes all the time. If you're in a live stream right now, make sure you hit that like button, comment in the chat, let us know what you're thinking about this conversation. And then here, this is the other piece of the pie I want to talk about right now. So obviously Tyreek Hill calls out Patrick Mahomes, upset about Patrick Mahomes, and I think a little bit of butthurt, right? I'm not saying he said any crazy or vulgar comments, but he said some things like when Patrick Mahomes showed up, they're like, who's this guy? Like, awkward. And then he was like, well, I'm the best guy in the NFL. But then Tyreek Hill calls out Noah Lyles, and he's upset with Noah Lyles for reasons that I'm sure a lot of people would understand. And I kind of brought this up. You look at my live stream, go back 2 weeks ago. I brought this to the attention. Noah Lyles got up there and said some things that I think a lot of people are like, that's bullshit, right? I mean, look, I'm going to call it like it is. I'm explaining to you in the live stream right now. But Tyreek Hill says, I could beat this man in a race. In the chat right now, who do you think would win a 100-meter dash right now, Tyreek Hill or Noah Lyles? In the chat right now, I just want to know what you think. If they had to race right now, obviously Noah Lyles races for a living. But then again, Tyreek Hill is running for his life for a living too. But at the end of the day, who do you think would win a race between Tyreek Hill and Noah Lyles. And the reason why he was upset, I'm going to break it down for you guys in a second, because Noah Lyles comes across, obviously, the line here, takes first place, and people are so excited about the U.S., right? So excited about the U.S. And I got the photo finish here where Noah Lyles pulls up, and everyone thought at first he did not win, but he ended up winning because it's about the torso, where the torso crosses the line first, and then USA takes home the gold. So right now in the live stream, can we just get a USA chant going in the chat right now? Everybody put USA in the chat right now. We got to get that in there. We cannot forget to drop that in the live stream. USA, USA right now in the chat right now. But Tyreek Hill's upset, and he goes about the interview. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm going to pull this picture up right now in the interview conversation. Was Noah Lyles gets up there and he goes, the NBA, because he was talking about the NBA at first, like, how are they the champions of what? Right? Like, how the NBA basketball team, the champions of what? Because they didn't beat anybody, apparently, right? Like, they didn't beat all these people around the world like they played basketball. They didn't run track and field and get out there and compete against every individual. And I think that was more along the lines of what Noah Lyles was saying. But I think what was crazy was Tyreek Hill took offense to that. And rightfully so. I would take offense to it too. Like, you literally show up, and the first thing that you talk about, instead of jumping up there and being like, oh, USA, we're beast mode, we crushed it, we're knocking it out. And then he could even get up there and say, everybody doubted me, but you can't doubt me because I'm a beast and I'm first place or I'm gold. Like, I could have lived with that. That'd been great. Like, you're knocking me, but I'm out here doing my thing, training, and I'm getting gold. Everyone thought I couldn't do it. I did it. Okay, I could live with that. But and I gave a little example of what I would do, a quick little example. And I'm not perfect, but I would have said, I appreciate everybody for watching me. All the hard work and training goes into this. USA, I got the flag on my back. Like, I'm doing it. I'll do anything to carry this country. We train so hard, and it's about the detail and step by step to get to that finish line. I'm so grateful and blessed. And, I'm sure he would start off with thanking God and all that. Like, that would be the ideal interview. And the interview turned into, why did the basketball team go out there and say that they're the champions, and what the champions of what? Like, that's what he said. And look, I'm telling you right now, when I heard this, I was like, this is bullshit. And I was mad about it. But Tyreek Hill steps up and goes, I don't give a damn what he said. And he took offense to it. And then Tyreek Hill led on to say, I could beat him in a 100-meter dash. And I said, shit, with the pads on, he's probably right, And then I said, in a race, right? Like, obviously Noah Lyles is running for everyday training for this. And he said he has COVID, and Tyreek Hill's like, he didn't have no COVID. Like, he was out there like, he didn't have COVID. It's bullshit. Like, was out there getting mad about it. But I kind of understand the situation. Like, I really understand why he was mad about it. And I brought that to attention a couple weeks ago. I thought that was true. And here we go. Is Tyreek Hill, we got to be honest here, is Tyreek Hill the best pound for pound player in the NFL? Put a Y in the chat if you think so. If you think Tyreek Hill is the best pound for pound NFL player in the chat, put a Y in the chat. If you think no, put an N. And you're talking about a guy, and this is where we got to be kind of like clear here. Like, the man is 5'6", right? Or something like that. Like, all of 5'6", with all the athleticism in the world. And when I show a picture of Tyreek Hill here, hold on a second. If you're in the live stream right now, look at this picture I'm about to pull up right now. Hold on a second. This man looks like, and I hate to use the word midget, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm not saying it that way. If you're in the live stream right now, is Tyreek Hill the best pound for pound player? And then here you go, he's pointing out people going, yeah, you can't cover me. Like, you're not covering me. This is not going to happen, right? Not going to happen. And then it's like, you really start looking at it, man, and you're like, this guy really is on his A game right now, right? Like, he's really on his A game, and he is ranked, I guess, a quote unquote number one in the NFL. A lot of people are like, no. A lot of people are saying other people. And if you haven't put in the chat today, who do you think is the best player in the NFL? And like I said, Tyreek Hill, obviously, being one of those guys, being all of 5'6", running around for the best pound for pound player, I would imagine at his size, there isn't many people that's doing what he's doing. But to get up there and call out to get up there and call out Patrick Mahomes, there's just got to be something going on. Like there's a grudge. There's an obvious grudge that Tyreek has that the Kansas City Chiefs traded him, got rid of him, let him go, call it what you want. Dolphins pick him up. Dolphins are loaded with talent. When I say loaded, Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle alone on that offense, great running back in the backfield, a pretty solid defense last couple years. And you're like, they're not even close to getting to a championship game. And then Patrick Mahomes gets rid of, Chiefs get rid of Tyreek Hill, and then they still get to the NFL and the championship game, and they still get to the Super Bowl. Like, I kind of understand why he's a little butthurt. Like, let's be clear here. Do you guys understand what I'm saying right now? Like, do you guys agree? Like, kind of understand why he's a little butthurt right now, right? Like, get it? And I look at the Miami Dolphins now, and I go, this is the year the Dolphins better do something. Like, this is the year the Miami Dolphins better do something. And honestly, they went out there and got I want to say bought players, but that's what they did. They went out there and paid a bunch of people, and they got tons of people coming in and trades and all that. This is the year they got to make something happen. And I really believe that if they're going to do it, it's this year, next year. And then after that, you're like, okay, contracts are expiring again. When are you ever going to get another Tyreek Hill? I'm not saying players won't come along, but honestly, when are you ever going to get another Tyreek Hill? When are you going to get another Tyreek Hill, Jaylen Waddle, OBJ all on the same team with Mostert in the backfield and Tua? When are you going to get that combination of players ever again? And then that's why you look at Patrick Mahomes, right, which we brought up here. That's why you look at Patrick Mahomes and you say, well, shit, this man had some players on his team, but he didn't have all those other people. Like, he had Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice, and he had to get out there and make plays with his legs. And that's why him and Lamar Jackson come into conversation a lot. Right? And that's why I want to bring this up right now. How do you guys, in the live stream right now, I'm going to pull this up, and I want to ask you guys what you guys think. How do you guys compare these two quarterbacks right here? In the chat right now, who is better? Who do you want on your team? Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson? And why this is important for a lot of reasons. Because Patrick Mahomes is winning Super Bowls. Lamar Jackson is not. Lamar Jackson is MVP of the National Football League. Patrick Mahomes this past year was not. But at the end of the day, who's putting rings on fingers, right? Like, that's the whole thing. Like, who's showing up? Who do you want in your locker room? Who do you want as your starting quarterback right here on the field, off the field? Like, these are conversations that you have to have, and I love how they carry themselves off the field. Lamar Jackson's not getting in trouble. Patrick Mahomes is not getting in trouble, and not for nothing. When I go back and pull up Patrick Mahomes, when I pull up, obviously, his distractions, let's talk about this for a second. Do we all agree that these are distractions? Yes or no? I mean, I'm not saying that, Brittany Mahomes, not saying that she's a bad person. I know, I will tell you this, she was a distraction, at least over the last couple of years, doing some things that people would say, what the hell's going on, right? Like, these are distractions that people have, and yet he's still winning Super Bowls out there at Arrowhead Stadium, getting it done. And then Lamar Jackson, a phenomenal player, making plays with his legs. I showed you on here a couple images of Lamar Jackson out there getting it done, crushing it, breaking tackles, jumping over people. A guy that you're like, wow, like, this guy is really making plays, but just not winning Super Bowls. A lot of it's your team. But when I compare the teams, the Ravens and the Chiefs, it wasn't like the Chiefs were overly stacked. I mean, the Chiefs were overly stacked with a lot of distractions at certain points, I'll be completely honest with you. Like, they were kind of distracted from different ways, I would say, with people Taylor Swift, right? Like, would you think that was an actual distraction? And that's what I want to ask you before I pull up on the piece here where people actually can put their messages on the screen here in a second, which we always do. Let's get that set up right now, where people in the live stream right now, if you have something you want to say, all you need to do right now is hashtag your message, and we pull it up on the screen right now. My thing is this. I'll be completely honest with you. Do you think the distractions with Taylor Swift, is that an actual distraction? Yes or no? Do you believe Taylor Swift is a distraction? Do you think she's helping in any way, shape, or form? Like, I want to know what you guys think about that, because the reasoning is she's bringing all the Swifties out there. She's bringing a lot of people to love the Chiefs. I mean, the people that were all about music. And again, I don't really listen to Taylor Swift's music at all. I know that she's phenomenal and she's a billionaire due to music, but I'm saying I'm not out there listening to Taylor Swift at all. But do you think in the live stream right now, was Taylor Swift a distraction? Yes or no? I mean, up in the box. Or was it just, doesn't really matter? It wasn't a distraction, because maybe she wasn't. I mean, I know one thing. She brought a lot of new fans to that stadium. She brought a lot of new faces. A lot of people right now are wearing Chiefs jerseys that were not wearing Chiefs jerseys several years ago. I can tell you right now, she showed up in the box and she was wearing her Chiefs jersey. A bunch of people, all those Swifties, start showing up wearing, you know what I mean? I'm just saying they brought a lot. But at the end of the day, do you think that she was a distraction? And in the chat right now, if you want to pull your message on the screen and you want to say something right now about the live stream, you want to say something about Tyreek Hill, you want to say something about Patrick Mahomes, you want to say something about Lamar Jackson, you want to say something about the Miami Dolphins or the Chiefs right now, drop it in here right now. And I'll let you guys know we're live tomorrow for the game. Tomorrow is the live stream play-by-play with the Eagles, baby. We are live tomorrow with the Eagles live stream play-by-play game. We're going to make that announcement tomorrow morning. I'm going to have it up here all morning talking about it and what we're doing for the game. We're expecting a lot of people to come into the building. But at the end of the day, if you want to leave a message right now, put a hashtag in front of your message and I will pull it up on the screen right now. But I want to get on here and talk about this because I think a lot of people sometimes, and I'll say this, they'll sometimes forget that these players are human, right? Like, they're getting traded. They're leaving state to state. They have kids. They're in school. They take them from one school to the next school. And a lot of these players are like, shit, they become good friends. Like Patrick Mahomes, that like when he was playing there, that was his crew. Like Tyreek Hill was all about him. Patrick Mahomes, the crew. And obviously, I got a picture here. This is a pretty interesting image, right? Tyreek Hill gets out there. Balling was with the Chiefs. Balling with the Miami Dolphins. And I think it was hard for him. It was truly hard for him to wake up and smell the coffee when you see this after you're traded from the team. And you're sitting there going, well, shit, this guy's still getting all these Super Bowls and it's back to back. Here's other pictures back to back, like Super Bowl after Super Bowl. And I think a lot of people would probably say that they agree that he's butthurt about it because he goes, they let me go and they're out there balling. But at the end of the day, look, Tyreek Hill's a phenomenal player. Patrick Mahomes, a phenomenal player. I cannot wait to get this season started. I'm interested. We got our live bets are going to be on the platform. We have another sports betting application that reached out to us that wants to work a deal as a sponsor of the show. As soon as they start coming on here, we start making things happen for the NFL season. You guys can be a big part of that as well. Well, not forget that. You guys will be a big part of that operation, that opportunity. And how are you guys feeling in the chat right now? Can we get the NFL? Everybody drop NFL in the chat because, look, NFL is back. NFL is back. Hashtag NFL, put NFL, and I will promise you this, next week we're going to be live on our show. We'll be live on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We're going to be live every single place that they offer that service to be able to be live streaming from here. And when we do our play-by-plays, that is going to get very, very interesting because we're going to be able to join people from all over the globe hanging out, watching the game. We got the Eagles. I believe it's Eagles-Ravens, right, for the preseason game. Is it Eagles-Ravens? Is it Eagles-Ravens? I believe it is. Tomorrow evening. Let me see the time. Because once we get this going tomorrow, I am pretty excited to hang out with you guys. And I forgot to tell you this. Tyreek Hill stats, when I pull it up, his career stats, he's got 717, listen to this, okay? Receptions. 10,000 yards. 10,139 yards, okay? And he's got 76 touchdowns in his career, okay? Patrick Mahomes, I got it here right now. Career stats, okay? 66% completion rating. He's got 28,000, can you believe, 28,000 yards, 219 touchdowns, okay? These are some of the stats that I want to bring out here on the table and let you guys know. I mean, these are real numbers. Like, these guys are balling out, and I cannot wait to get this damn season started. And I'm seeing everybody that's coming here, everybody drop something in a second. Mention you, Jeff Lee, Chrome's in the building. LaToya Tracy, I love it. LaFrance, how are you feeling? MJW, what is going on? Annie, what is going on? Pitbull Mama, Sammy, what's going on? Sammy, how are you feeling? Welcome back to live stream. Roger, what's going on? Dre, what's going on, Dre? I see everybody popping into the building right now. Whoever, I didn't say your name yet. I'm trying to pull it up here. People that I didn't say your name, I'm scrolling through it right now. Brenda, what's going on? Rahanis, what's going on? If you're in the live stream right now, what is going on? Drop your name in there. Okay, I see you guys. Drop the dice in the chat right now. Dice, the American flags. Get a USA chant going. This stream is about to be blowing up this year. We're excited about it. We cannot wait to get to what is going to happen. I know a lot of people can't wait for the games, the season to get started. We got the NFL play-by-plays, which is going to be freaking rocking. You guys are going to be sitting here hanging out for the games tomorrow. If you're going to be here for the game tomorrow night, do me a favor and put a Y in the chat, because when the game starts tomorrow, we're live in the morning. I'll announce everything. But for the game, the preseason game, the Eagles, right? Tomorrow, are you guys going to be here hanging out watching the game with me? Because we're going to be going crazy. I know a lot of people right now, and I'm pulling it up right now. I got here. There we go. We got people sending me direct message on Instagram. We got people on Twitter. We got people sending us tons of messages trying to watch everything. And I said, come to YouTube. We're here in the morning. As soon as we go live on all the other platforms, which will be next week, we'll be live everywhere streaming. It's going to grow substantially. And when the season starts, there's going to be thousands of people hanging out here in the live stream for the watch party. So I'm pretty excited about that. You guys are making this possible. You guys are making this great. And I'm going to end the poll, because the poll right now, people said Patrick Mahomes, 61%, I believe it is. 60, let me check. My eyes are a little crazy. Yeah, 60% of people are popping in here saying, look, Patrick Mahomes is more valuable. Like, Patrick Mahomes is more valuable than Tyreek Hill because he's got to touch the ball on every play. Like, as a weapon, if you take Patrick Mahomes and put him on any team, he is going to elevate that team substantially. Tyreek Hill is going to elevate the team substantially. And I agree with that 100%. They're both going to do that. Which team is in the Super Bowl? That's where you start to look around and go, well, they both can elevate a team. They both can turn a team into a playoff team, but who's winning Super Bowls? And that's why the quote-unquote best player in the National Football League usually goes to a quarterback, and that's why Lamar Jackson got the MVP, and that's why Patrick Mahomes is in the goddamn Super Bowl back-to-back. Will they win another Super Bowl? That's a question right now. And if you're in the chat right now, I'm putting Y's in the chat if you're going to join me tomorrow for the game. If you're just coming in right now, we're live. There's going to be thousands of people popping in. And for week one, you guys better get ready. Everyone that's in the Mason Mob, if you're in the Mason Mob, and we get MVP, we got people coming in the building. Mile High's in the building. Let's go. Mile High, you know we got to drop this for you every time Mile High comes into the building. We cannot forget this.
Smoke weed every day.
That's Mile High. You know you got to get your little anthem when you come in the building. And we got the peaches out there for Pitbull, Mama, Jeff Lee. We need to get your star. Anybody that wants an emoji, if you want your own personal emoji that you want to use, drop it in the chat. Chrome, what's going on? Chrome, what's going on? If you want yours,
Make some noise!
I didn't forget you, Chrome. If anybody comes into the building and you want your own emoji in the live stream, tell me in the stream right now. What do you want? Jeff wants a star. We got the star coming in for Jeff. He's going to be rocking. He's in here every day. He's in every live stream. He's in every play-by-play. If you guys want your own emoji that you want to use in the live stream, just let me know. We'll do our best to get it in throughout the week, and just keep reminding me. If you don't see it, say, Brandon, where's my emoji? I want this. We'll get it rocking in here. I promise you. I'll pop it in there. You guys will be able to use your own emoji during the live stream. I cannot wait to do that. I appreciate you guys. Today's been great. We're talking Tyreek Hill. We're talking Patrick Mahomes. We're talking about some of the drama here. We got to bring it to life. Tracy, what's going on, Tracy? We got to bring it to life. Why do we got to bring it to life? Because it's important. It's important to bring it to life because these are real people having real conversation in the locker room, playing as a former player, coming in the locker room, practicing all off season. You got all this shit going on all through the winter season and the off season. You got fights in the locker room. No one even knows you got no fist fight with your quarterback or a fist fight with your linebacker or your defensive back as a running back. They used to try to knock the ball out of our hands all the freaking time when we're coming back to the huddle. Excuse me, just getting freaking arguments all the time. I'm going to bring those guys on the show. I'm hoping to get Darrelle Revis on the show, too. I'm trying to talk to Joe Flacco. I know he's busy. Was a roommate of mine. Hoping to get people on here. We got a lot of cool action-packed conversation. So I cannot wait to hang out with you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Before we sign off today, I just want to say I appreciate you guys. But before we do that, everybody right now in the live stream, put the USA in the chat. Bang, I just dropped it out there. We've been using the USA. It's so important for all the shit that's going on in our world right now. Football is important to us. First and foremost is our country. Second is football, right? Like, let's be real. First is our country. And then second, I mean, a lot of people are going to say family, friends, kids. I get that, but we're not going down that road. We're just saying our country, boom. And then it's football, right? Like, we're ready to go. We're ready to freaking go. So I'm locked and loaded. Tomorrow night, we got a game, but tomorrow morning, everyone that's in the live stream right now, tomorrow morning, make sure that you're on here at 9:55. Pop in here early. If everybody comes in here early, I'm here at 9:55. You'll see the screen up. We're talking, we're communicating in the live stream in the mornings at 9:55. And at 10 o'clock, it starts the countdown. Who else just popped in? Jacobs, how you feeling? Jacobs, what's going on? Anybody that pops in here in the morning at 9:55, we're already having a conversation. 10 o'clock starts the countdown. I want you guys in here. Why? Because the minute we get in here early before it even starts, it attracts all the other people to come into our live stream. That's how you build all the channels. That's how you build the show. And that's what we got to do. And get ready. Tomorrow, we have our freaking game. We're back. NFL's back. I am excited about it. Rahanis, how are you doing? Everyone that popped into the live stream today, I just want to tell you, you guys are making this awesome. I appreciate you guys. Remember, tomorrow for the game and tomorrow morning. Be here early, 9:55. I'm going to start calling people out. And just so you know, I have a little segment here that I can start pulling up. I'm going to show you right now where you're going to be able to call in. And if I didn't have any graphic, I have a graphic on there, so I can't show you. It's a little surprise. But if I clicked on this picture, you're going to see me on the corner, and I can start calling everybody into the show. Whoever here is in the live stream, I can, boom, pop it in the link. You click on it, and you pop up live on the show talking with me. So if you're ready to do that, if you're not scared to talk to me in the live stream, MJ, what's going on? In the chat right now, if you could do me a favor, put yes if you don't mind calling in. Put yes. That number at the bottom of the screen, you'll be able to call in too. But put yes if you don't mind calling into the show when we send it out to you. It's going to show live video and audio, so do not be scared. And put no if you're like, hey, man, don't call me in. I'm too scared to do that. I don't want to be a part of that because I'm a little shy, camera shy. We know that can happen to some people. My High's in the building. Gifted a membership, baby. Who got that membership? Let me check and see who it is.
Smoke weed every day.
D3 Lunatic. D3's in the building. Got the membership. Let's go. Who else is coming in the building? Kiko, what's up? Kiko, welcome to the live stream. So glad to have you in here too. We're rocking and rolling, getting ready to sign off. I hope all of you have an amazing hump day, right? It's hump day. So I don't know what that means for you guys. Does that mean that you're going to go home tonight and have a hump night? I don't know what that means. I don't know. That kind of came off wrong. But at the end of the day, it's hump day. So enjoy the day. Enjoy your evening if you're taking it that way. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 9:55. Be here early. I'm telling you, this is going to build up through the season. When the play-by-play starts, there's going to be thousands of people coming in, and then the live guests and entertainment in the morning. You guys are making this great. This is going to be an awesome opportunity for you guys to hang out with the Mason Mob. Do not forget to join the Mason Mob if you're not a part of the crew. I didn't even drop it in there, but you need to join at the bottom of your screen right now, bottom left. You can hit join, and you can join the Mason Mob right now and be part of our show. That's what we want. You guys are part of the show. You guys are making this great, and you guys will be highlighted on our journey. I see you guys tomorrow morning at 9:55. Have a great rest of your hump day. Tomorrow morning, 9:55, and then we have our live show, play-by-play. Have a great rest of your day. I appreciate and love all of you guys in here hanging out with us. See you guys tomorrow.